Hi, my name is Ashton, or Esteban Unlimited, and if you've ever been in the drawing community before, you may have heard of these things called original characters. Like the label on the tin, original characters are just characters made from creators' imagination. To me, original characters have always had this air of deviant art aesthetic. Yet still to this day, I'm completely obsessed with them. I love finding others' original characters and seeing what lore they came up with them. It's just fun. There are videos on YouTube where all they talk about is the lore behind their characters, and those are my favorite videos. While listening to one, I decided, why don't I try making one myself? So here's my shitty attempt. Relatively speaking, I think Eric and Axel are pretty new characters. I made them back in April when I was redesigning a pair of these characters I made 3 years ago. My intention was to make a webcomic featuring these two and an epic RPG-esque magic system with political stuff, like Fullmetal Alchemist. But only stupider? The influences on FMA are pretty obvious in this one. Our main character is Eric. He's a young, scrappy boy living in the cities of Lycadil, the capital of Galvador. Eric is rambunctious, he's scheming, but he's ultimately kind, and somewhat dumb. He lives with his younger sister, Camilla, in the shack outside of the city, playing with street kids and doing their little magic ninjutsu stuff. Eric is spotted by a renowned magician called Delic. He has somewhat of a reputation for being A, one of the most powerful magicians in the planet, and B, being the illegitimate cousin of a prince, and C, being a massive asshole. He noticed something in Eric, and perhaps because of their shared lineage or something, he decides to take him in as an apprentice. Just about around this time, a war breaks out overseas, and this invigorates the young Eric to rise up for his country and become a combatant magician. With this new passion and loyalty to Galvador, he begins to seriously train to get into the Academy of Magical Arts. I know, it's so original. Before he's about to be accepted, Delic is entrusted with an important role in the military. He leaves behind his new apprentice and he heads overseas to a country called Jakai, and he's gonna fight allies and stuff. 4 years pass, and Eric is on the brink of graduating from the Magic Academy. There's one problem though, he needs a master. More specifically, he needs to go on a mission with a master to collect what's called in this universe as a staff, which acts sort of like a diploma or a magical bank at the same time. While anyone can use magic in this universe, powerful magicians need to have a staff collected from resources from their country of origin, in this case Galvador, as a qualification and storage of magical energy. All of the masters who've remained in Galvador, however, basically reject Eric. He's not a bad magician per se, but because of his active apprenticeship with Delic and him being a massive asshole, nobody wants to step on Delic's toes or piss him off or whatever. In dire risk of repeating another year, Eric hears about this young guy, younger than him, called Axel Montgomery. Oh. And he's from a military family, and he is really talented. He's been a qualified magician since he was 13, and he's basically been a superpower military machine. Confident and without much else option, he approaches Axel, who has recently retired due to some suspicious circumstances, and asks him for help. Axel promptly refuses, reasonably. Despite not knowing about Delic, he can sort of read the atmosphere in Lycadil. He's like, nobody wants to go with this guy on his mission. Maybe I shouldn't. But after a few weeks and a couple of shared moments, tear-breaking rescue scene, and newfound friendship, Axel eventually agrees. And they go off on a journey to get Eric's staff so he can fight. There's a lot more to the story, but this is kind of like a succinct introduction. Yeah. I want to spend last portion of this video talking about the redesign. So, since I redesigned these characters and made new CGs from them, I have to talk about it. Here are the ones I did in April, and they really are gross. I didn't even bother rendering it. This was Eric's full body and portrait. This was Axel. I didn't design Axel's outfit at the time, so I just decided to draw him in a suit. Classy. Here, if I can find it, here are some very early sketches of Axel, who you might have guessed is kind of my favorite to design since he looks like a cosplayer. In Eric's design, one thing I wanted to change badly was the clothing to skin ratio in the legs. His whole lower body is covered in fabric despite his arms being fully exposed, which was just weird. I don't know. He's a free guy, he does as he pleases. I chose a ratio that worked well enough. The midriff and the part. If I were to do it again, I'd maybe add a little more darker motifs, like his jacket, more steampunk, jacket thingy. I kept this purple motif, and his style is basically based a little bit on European, Eastern European with like the flowers and stuff, Middle East, and a lot of guessing because it's fantasy. Axel's design, oh boy. I really did not like this portrait of Axel. I didn't like his hair, but I only included it in the style because I thought it'd make for a better silhouette. It looks dumb, to be honest, and I don't understand why a military uptight brat was gonna cut their hair like this. So I pulled it into a soft swoop for his military uniform and a modified ponytail for his normal wear. Axel's wear is heavily based upon my love for the aesthetic of Lolita fashion. I don't know jack shit about Lolita, but I love the look, and it fit the stylized historical setting I was going for. I don't know what happened to his boots. I tried, I really did. I like the red in the uniform, kind of hinting at certain plot stuff, and he looks very dapper. So yeah, pretty happy with this one. And with that, that's the end of the video. This is all you need to know about these dumb characters I made to fulfill slow burn romance that I had. I probably won't be making original content for these two in like near future, but maybe years from now I'll make it into a visual novel. Sure. I want to end the video by saying thanks for watching. I haven't uploaded since the hot pepper tutorial. Why? Next video should be coming out in 3 or 4 weeks. It's gonna be another one of these dumb redesign videos, but for this character I made like 3 years ago called Gino, who had his small stint at a pilot comic for Webtoon Comics. Yeah, I promptly dropped that. Stay tuned, I guess. Bye.